My grandfather passed away when I was 16, and I was devastated. My grandmother didn't take it well either. I loved her dearly, and so when it was time for me to go to college, I chose to attend college in her state so I could be closer to her. It was at college that I met my ex-husband, Ethan. Ethan and I started dating when we were in our junior year, and we had a pretty good relationship. Ethan was everything that I was looking for in a partner, which was why I continued my relationship with him even after we graduated. Hello, my name's Eleanor, and I'm 30 years old. I recently came into a large fortune, and that made me see the ugly side of my husband. Today I want to tell you all about it and how I unintentionally got revenge on two people at once. Let me start by introducing myself a little more. I grew up away from my grandparents, but we were still very close. I remember that every 3 to 4 months, they would come over to our place just to spend time with me. I was the closest to my grandmother. I was the apple of her eye, and she never ceased to spoil me. We got engaged a few months after graduating, but decided to wait until we were in a stable financial situation to get married. In the meantime, since I lived in a better apartment, Ethan moved in with me. While my relationship with Ethan was great, the one person who I could not seem to get along with was his sister, Olivia. Olivia didn't live in the same state as us, because she moved with her husband when he got a better job, but she still doted on Ethan a lot to the point where she was often obsessive about him. She hated me the second she met me. I guess she thought that I was stealing her baby brother from her. Anyways, she had always been rude and unaccommodating. The only reason I ever let her get away with anything when she came to visit us was that she would bring over her daughter, Ava. Ava and I got along well ever since she was a baby. She only seemed to like being with me, and I enjoyed it. Olivia was glad to have some time to herself, but that did not stop her from being mean to me. Ethan never stood up for me, because he loved his sister too much to hurt her. I didn't want to cause any rifts between them, so I just shut up and dealt with it. About 3 years after we got engaged, Ethan and I were doing well enough, so we decided to get married. It was an amazing day, and yes, I'll even say that now. Everything was going great until 4 years after we got married. 2 major things happened. The first was that my grandmother passed away. I was heartbroken and honestly could not do much during that time. I inherited about $1 million in money and assets combined, but none of that mattered to me because my grandmother was gone. The second thing that happened was that Olivia and her family moved back into town. Suddenly, Ethan was no longer at home. He was almost always over at Olivia's, or when he was at home, Olivia was here. Once again, the only thing keeping me sane was the fact that I got to spend time with Ava. I was still grieving the loss of my grandmother, and Ethan was barely there. I tried to talk to him about it, but he didn't seem to care until one day he came back home directly after work and was alone. "Hey sweetie, how was your day?" "It was pretty good. What about you?" "Oh, same old." I went to meet Olivia, and we got to talking. "You seem to be visiting Olivia a lot, you know." "We're close. I miss her, and I guess I just feel better when I'm around her." "Anyways, do you not want to know what we talked about?" "Yeah, sure. Tell me." "Well, I was telling her that we were planning on buying a house." "I'm going to cut you off right there. I never agreed to that. Just listen to me." Olivia asked me how I had the funds for it, and I told her all about your inheritance, and she suggested that it would be a great investment for us to make. And why is that? I mean, you have more than enough money to almost fully purchase a house. I think that we should invest in it. We'll be well settled for the rest of our lives. But I want to invest my money in some better place. What's better than securing a house for ourselves? I can think of several better things that can at least be put to use for our future. I don't want to spend all my money on one thing, you know, H. It's like you're trying to tell me that your money is yours and not mine to begin with. Well, it kind of is. I get to decide what I want to do with it, and you have no say in it. Look, you either invest your money in something for the both of us, or I'm leaving. Where would you leave? You're begging me to buy a house with my money for your future. If you choose to leave, then that's going to be your loss. Oh, so you're okay with me leaving you all because you want to keep your money to yourself? Don't try and act as if that was what I was saying, Ethan. You're the one threatening to leave me if I don't spend on you. You're the one who brought it up. Yes, because I thought you loved me and you wanted to spend your future with me. Forgive me for looking out for us. You're really bad at whatever you're trying to do here. I'm keeping my money, and I get to decide where and how I spend it. Fine, but could you at least think about spending it on a house for us? Sure. I wasn't sure why Ethan was so adamant about buying the house, but something did not seem right to me, which was why I knew that I had to stand my ground. Ethan began to distance himself from me after that conversation. He began to spend even more time at Olivia's place. Olivia stopped coming over, other than to drop Ava off whenever she needed me to babysit her. I tried to talk to Ethan on multiple occasions and asked him what was wrong, but he always brushed me off and told me there was nothing wrong. Eventually, I gave up and figured that I'd just wait until he was ready to talk. However, things took a turn when one day Olivia dropped Ava off at my place for me to babysit her. Hey Ava, how's my favorite niece doing? I'm your only niece. Still, my favorite, though. I hope I'll always be your favorite. Of course, you will be. Anyways, what do you want to do today? I was thinking we could go get our nails done and then get some ice cream. Yay! Can I paint my nails pink? Of course you can. And can I get strawberry ice cream? Why can't you? We'll get you everything you want. I only have one niece, and if I don't spoil her, would I be her aunt? You know you're my favorite aunt. I really will miss you. Miss me? Sweetie, what do you mean? I'm not going anywhere. Are you sure? Yes, of course. Where do you think I'll be going? Well, it's just that. What? What is it? You can tell me anything. I swear I won't tell anyone else a word. Okay, well, I heard Mommy and Uncle talking the other day. Uncle, as in Uncle Ethan. Yeah, Mommy said she's going to help Uncle with getting some cases. Case? What are you talking about? They kept talking about some cases that would give them some money, and then she told her uncle that he would have a nice big house after he left you. What? Oh my God, sweetie, when did you hear about this? Well, I heard about this like 2 days ago. Are you sure you heard correctly? Yes, I'm sure that I heard correctly. As soon as Mommy saw that I was listening to them, she yelled at me to go to my room. She also told me not to tell you anything about her talk with her uncle, but I only told you because you're my favorite aunt. Thank you so much, sweetie. Now enough of this, let's go out and have a fun day.
I tried my best to go about the rest of the day, as if I didn't hear what Ava told me. I could tell that she felt bad for telling me, but I let her know that she did nothing wrong. I spoiled her in the same way that I always did, and when it came time to go back home, I made her promise me that she wouldn't tell her mom or Ethan what she told me. Ava promised not to say a word and hugged me goodbye after Olivia picked her up from my place. I felt panic rising in my chest. I knew something was wrong with Ethan, but for him to try and trick me into spending my money on him was a new low. It was something I would have never expected from him. So, I did the only thing I could think of and called Ethan's father, Benjamin, who was a lawyer. Now, I didn't know why I called him, considering he could have been in on Ethan and Olivia's plan, but I had a feeling in my gut that he was a good man. Besides, he never failed to treat me like a princess when I was over at his place and always put Olivia in her place whenever she tried to bully me. Benjamin picked up the call in the same warm way he always did. "Hello, darling, to what do I owe this phone call?" "Hi, Benjamin. How are you?" "Oh, I'm doing quite well. What about you?" I don't know. I called because I need your help." "My help? What could I help you with?" "Isn't Ethan around?" "He is, but he kind of is the problem." "Oh no. I always told that boy to treat you right, because it's really hard to come by women as amazing as you." "Thank you, Benjamin. You may be the only one in your family that thinks of me as amazing." "What are you talking about?" "Well, I was babysitting Ava the other day, and she told me that Ethan and Olivia were planning something against me." "Against you? What do you mean?" "Well, she didn't know the specifics, but there is a case involved. They plan on taking money from me." "What in God's name are you telling me?" "I also don't know what's going on. I'm worried, and I figured I'd come to you for help, considering you're a lawyer. You did a great job of coming to me. Now tell me, do you believe Ava?" "I do, and only because in the past few months, Ethan has begun to draw away from me. I tried to talk to him about it, but he never took me seriously." "All right. And why do you think Olivia is involved?" "Well, ever since she moved back, they began to spend a lot of time together, and yeah, I get it. They were living far apart for years before, and it made sense. But then in the past few months, he was going over to her house for hours every single day." That's a little weird. Did something happen a few months ago that triggered Ethan's weird reaction?" I got my grandmother's inheritance because she passed away. It was quite a large amount of money. Ethan wanted to use it to buy a house, but I was a little hesitant about it. After that, he's been weird, right? I guess that they're going to try and get your money. First of all, I'm so worried that my children are doing this to you. This was not how I raised them. Secondly, why don't you drop by my office tomorrow, and we'll hash this out properly?" "That sounds great. And you have nothing to apologize for. You're a good man. Thank you for helping me out. I don't know what I would do without you." I was genuinely really grateful that Benjamin was helping me out. I did not think that he would side with me over his children, but I was glad that he did. The next day, I took a day off from work and went to his office. Once there, Benjamin apologized once again to Ethan and Olivia, but I told him to just help me navigate around this. We figured that Ethan was going to ask for a divorce, so the first order of business was to contact all the reputed divorce lawyers in our city and ask for advice. This would then limit Ethan's access to good lawyers, because there would be a conflict of interest considering they already knew my side. The next thing we had to figure out was how they planned to take my inheritance from me. Thankfully, I had been smart enough to keep my inheritance money in a separate bank account, and did not use it to buy Ethan or me things. I did plan on buying Ethan some luxury items that he'd always wanted, but clearly, that was never going to happen. Since there was no other way for them to get that money from me, Benjamin and I figured that they were going to outright steal from me. The only thing I could control then would be providing them with the perfect setup so I could catch them. You see, I had a top-of-the-line security system installed inside my apartment because I was paranoid about break-ins. This was a fact that Ethan knew and agreed to when he moved in. The next thing I had to do was slightly let Ethan know that my bank details were logged in on my laptop. That wasn't hard to do. I just had to pretend to have bank troubles that he could help me with. Lastly, I told Ethan that I was going to meet a friend on the weekend, leaving him home alone. I then met Benjamin, who would serve as a witness and would corroborate my alibi. In the middle of our conversation, I got a notification that money had been transferred from my account to Ethan and my joint account. I called the police and reported it. When I got back from meeting Benjamin, Ethan was sitting in the dining room and asked me to sit with him. "We need to talk," he said. "Oh, about what?" "About us." "Okay. We're not working out." "I agree." "Do you agree?" "What do you mean?" "Well, I did not like how you threatened to end the relationship over money. Something I would have spent on us had you not done that. I didn't think that you would." "Oh, and that's another point. You think so lowly of me, and I don't think that's a sign of a good partner. Like as if you've been a good partner. You've been selfish since the start, and I only bore with it because I loved you. How in the world was I selfish? I helped you pay off your student loans first instead of mine. I helped you out for a whole year when you didn't have a job. I sacrificed so much to make sure that you were happy. The few times that I didn't do what you wanted, I became a selfish monster to you. Don't act like what you did was some righteous thing. I would have done the same for you. Would you? You never helped me out when I was sick. Why would I think that you would have sacrificed your comfort for me when I needed it? You're just trying to make me feel bad." "No, and my last reason for not wanting to be with you is that I don't want to be with a lying, manipulative thief." "What are you saying?" "Don't think I don't know about what you and Olivia have been planning. I saw you transfer money out of my account into our joint account. I know that you wanted to be able to split that during the divorce." No. Oh, don't even bother. I know about everything. You are a pathetic man, and I see no reason to be with you. Oh, well, I'll still get half of what I transferred into our account. I still win. Will you? If I recall correctly, I had security cameras installed in my apartment, and you made that transaction from my laptop at a time when I wasn't at home. I've already reported you for theft. The police should be here anytime soon. You did what? Oh, here they come. Good luck. I'll see you in court. The relief I felt of finally seeing Ethan pay for his actions was unparalleled. The following weeks were a nightmare of courtroom sessions and evidence viewing, along with the charges of theft against him. I also filed for a divorce. Benjamin was my lawyer and fought long and hard to ensure that Ethan paid properly for his crime. Benjamin won the case for me, and Ethan was sentenced to 2 years in jail, and was also fined an additional $30,000. Nothing was sweeter than the taste of revenge. Just as Benjamin and I were celebrating our victory, Olivia came up to us. Olivia had conveniently been absent during all the previous trials and only chose to show up on the day of the verdict. That in itself spoke volumes about her, but when she approached us, she looked angry and pointed her finger at Benjamin. "Dad, you were helping this witch. Give me one good reason why I shouldn't have helped Eleanor." I don't know, because she put your brother in jail and he deserved his sentence. That will make him think twice before trying to steal from someone again. How could you do that to your son? No, Olivia, how could you do that to your brother? Don't think I did not see the real reason behind your plan. You were going to help Ethan get the money, so you could also reap the benefits of it. I was trying to give him a break from this jerk here. You have no idea how toxic she is for him. I don't think she was the toxic one, Olivia. You were a bad influence on him, and he was stupid enough to fall for your little game. He's getting the punishment he deserves, and maybe now he'll think twice before ever listening to you. You know you're going to lose him this way. He will never talk to you, good. Because I have no children, as far as I'm concerned. Don't be so dramatic. I'll be here. But I'm not happy with the way you treated my baby brother. As far as I'm concerned, neither you nor your brother are my children, because I know for a fact that this is not how I raised my kids. What are you talking about? What I'm saying is that I'm disowning both of you, and I want nothing to do with either of you. You can't do that. I actually can, and I'm going to do just that. This is all Eleanor's fault. If she just thought of someone other than herself for a second, this would not have been happening. No, you should not have been so greedy. I was going to spoil Ethan with all the things he wanted, but you had to interfere. You took away everything from him, and I hope you sit and think long and hard about what you did to your brother. Goodbye. I grabbed Benjamin's hand and we left. We couldn't help but let out a chuckle at what had happened. I was happy that Ethan got what he deserved and that I was going to be free of his manipulative ways. I was also happy to see Benjamin take my side. I did feel bad that it was because of me that he had lost both of his children, but he assured me that it was their own decisions that led to that. I took him out for coffee afterward, and we've maintained a good friendship ever since. Olivia harassed me a bunch over text, and Benjamin took it upon himself to tell Olivia and her husband to leave me alone. Now, this is where I unintentionally got revenge on Olivia as well. You see, Olivia's husband had no idea about Olivia's involvement in what happened between Ethan and me. So he called Benjamin and asked him what happened and was shocked to learn about what Olivia had done. Their marriage had been in the dumps for a while because of Olivia's nagging that he never brought home enough money while simultaneously refusing to work. He did not like that she would go to such lengths and ask for a divorce. Of course, he also asked for full custody of Ava and managed to get almost full custody. Olivia got custody for every other weekend. Not to mention, she didn't get much through that divorce either, considering that he had her sign an ironclad prenuptial agreement before marriage. Olivia only received a small amount of alimony for a set period, and she was kicked out of their house. Once again, she blamed it all on me, and if I'm being completely honest, I was a little happy to see the way she got what she deserved. She tried to meddle in someone else's life, and she paid the ultimate price for it. Not to mention, I got to see Ava still, because she loved me, and Olivia's ex-husband could not say no to Ava. He was very apologetic for what Olivia did, but I reminded him that he had no idea, so he had nothing to apologize for. And before you ask, yes, I am spoiling Ava senseless. As for me, my life is only getting better. I got a promotion at work, and also decided to hire an accountant to help manage all my finances. I have invested my money in a few places, and it's only a matter of time before I get my returns on those. Getting to where I am today took a lot of struggle, but let me tell you, the view from where I'm at is one that I'm loving. I have a better understanding of people, and I'm going to be a lot more cautious. In the end, justice prevailed as Ethan faced the consequences of his deceitful actions, and Olivia's betrayal led to her downfall. Through the support of loyal friends and the love of Ava, I emerged stronger and more resilient. As I look to the future, I carry with me valuable lessons learned and a renewed sense of determination to forge my path, free from manipulation and deceit. So this was all about us. Thanks for watching and see you in the next video.